So, you join me here at the Skircoat shed once more on this cold and rainy November morning. This is prior to the Eastleigh match, home match, as Town sit fourth in the Vanarama National League, having never beaten the Spitfires at home. But the main reason I'm here is I got the location of Paddy's tuck shop wrong. Now, I thought it was this building here, which would have made sense because it's already built into the ground. I mean, it looks newer than the white of the back of the stand, which will be a lot older. But Wayne Calvert via YouTube very cuttingly were just like, that's not where it is. And Hoddy on the forum said it was somewhere along here where you can see the paint's slightly different, which I believe would be here. I mean, it's only very small unless they've rejigged the stadium. I haven't actually looked prior to this recording, so I'll just walk on further, just see if it's further along. Saying something like you could see the paintwork was different in my previous video. Now it's all chipped, obviously scuffed here, and then isn't here. So I'm not, I still aren't sure exactly where his shop would have been. I'd imagine it's probably back where I thought it were, which was over here. So I mean, the question I have to pose really is, if this is still the Skircoat steps as it was when it was terracing, how much space did the Irishman actually have in his shop? If we think this is his shop here, it's literally, I remember it being very, very small. I mean, how much room must he have had? If it's only one step, that's like 3 feet, unless they built some kind of like structure underneath so that it could maybe be 2 steps or even 3. Because as I remember it, he would have had his counter, and he'd have had a table behind him which would have had, I think it at least had a kettle on it. I can't remember if he served soups and bovrils and pot noodles and stuff, or he certainly sold hot drinks, so he must have had more space than that. It must have come out somewhere here and it was just supported underneath. But as always, it's great again to be in the Skircoat. I feel quite privileged actually to be able to bring you this video. Just a few more personal memories of the Skircoat shed. They're all good memories because when I finally got to sort of stand in the Skircoat, we were always doing really, really well. Now, I started supporting Town, or my memories, I certainly remember the 1995-96 season when John Bird would have been manager, and it came at a time when the club was just getting 600-700 at home. We're playing like Slough, Bromsgrove, Farnborough maybe, and I was involved in the footballing community scheme, which Paddy Roche was involved with, but I can't remember who the coach guy was that we were with. We started meeting up at Pizza Hut, we'd have dinner, and then we'd play five-a-side at the corner just behind that scaffolding. Now, they let an older lad tag along with us, and he grew up to be that guy with the I don't even know how to describe this guy other than he's got really weird eyes. He looks a bit like Jaws out of James Bond. Dark hair. I don't actually know his name. I want to say his actual name's Lee. I've always just known him as Lee Champions because my one memory of him once I got older was in the Unibond Division 1 North winning season. I basically overheard him going, "Next week this time we'll be champions." So for 10 years I've just nicknamed him either Champions or Lee Champion. One of the many people I've met at the Shay that has a nickname that describes exactly what you're looking at. For instance, another famous supporter who I haven't seen during the A.F.C. HT era actually of the club was a man I nicknamed Mr. 1940s Man, and he basically had a 1940s haircut, like a black, he was quite a slender gentleman. He had a black, I don't know if it was a puffer jacket or like a raincoat that was padded with a grey sort of like artificial fur outing, and he used to clap really loudly to the side, and he always used to shout "two sides ref" and stuff like that. He had like big glasses on, sort of like your big bottle bottom types, and like I say, I haven't seen him really since we reformed in 2008, so if anyone has any information on him, I'd love to hear it, because he was a diehard. I remember seeing him every week, every home game without fail, and then one day, I can't say I noted his absence, but it just seemed he disappeared one day. So saying that now, unedited, I actually hope he's okay. I hope he's not. There's no personal sort of health problems that are involved with his decision to no longer come to the Shay. He may even just stand somewhere else. I'm saying that as somebody that's stood in the same spot in the south stand for since that become the home end. So maybe he's just changed positions, but I can't say I hear him shouting two sides ref. Obviously there's the old radio area that we covered before. Now, in the distance somewhere, I don't know if my microphone is picking it up, Graham Osborne, obviously affectionately known as Ozzy, has pointed me in the direction of the train tunnel, or the tunnel which is in this corner, which Johnny Maynell spoke about in the 3rd episode of the Shaycast. So I'm just going to have a little wander over and see what I can find. Just in the interests of getting a different shot of the Shay Stadium than what most people will now see these days, this is that section where you would see grass just to the side of the Skircoat shed. And now there's this bit here. Now I hand on heart, have no idea what this is. Now, all the supporters, I'm sure, have spoke of a time when you could enter. There was actual turnstiles up there in the trees that lead up to Skircoat Road at the top. So whether this was a way in to the Skircoat in years gone by, I'm not sure, but now it just serves to hold these like metal fences. There's a chair. So if anyone can enlighten me as to what this is, I would be grateful. Obviously there's the corner, the tunnel is down these steps. Any supporters that followed us, certainly for the first 2 seasons where we reformed, before the east stand opened, this was the way we used to transfer around between the south stand, and then we would go in the Skircoat stand. That all stopped about this time 10 years ago, sort of 10 years and a month ago. We played Romulus in the FA Trophy, and the ground safety people trialled not segregating and not being able to transfer around, and I think they may have even put that artificial fencing up that I've just filmed across here. So when we played Romulus, if you were in the Skircoat stand, you couldn't transfer around to the south stand, and that was in anticipation of playing Wrexham at home in the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup, a game just over 10 years ago we lost in the dying seconds at the north stand end. Was it Wes Bays? Someone like that. They beat Jonathan Hedge from the edge of the town box. So there's the south stand, just from this particular angle. So you can see the south stand, goalmouth's been covered to protect it from this little bit of extra rain. The goals which Will Appleyard and Sam Johnson currently use to warm up in and go through little training and warm up exercises, etc. So I'll just quickly go down these stairs and find where this tunnel is. So if I'm following Ozzy's instructions correctly, I believe the tunnel is round this corner somewhere. It's got a concrete at the back. So here's the stairs, a couple of trolleys from a well-known supermarket. So I'll just go up the stairs and see what we can find up here. I actually can't see it. That just leads to a door in the office. He said it were round here somewhere, I'm sure. Oh, it's behind this wall, I think. Possibly. Could it be there? Oh yeah, it's there. No idea how you get round to it. You probably don't. So, join me again when I've found an inverted commas higher vantage point. It's not the best view, but this is the tunnel that Ozzy and Johnny Maynell were referring to, and after a little bit of climbing, this is probably the best view I'm going to get of it, to be honest, because it is, like I say, it's walled off all the way around here and all the way up there. So unless I sort of did some kind of manoeuvres behind the stand, I'm probably not going to find it. I'm probably not going to be able to get down to it. I think it's cordoned off in that corner even, I'm just looking. So I'm sure it's picking it up now, but Ozzy's just doing some leaf blowing. And yeah, so there's the tunnel. that people may or may not have got into the Shay for free using. So you can see the sort of historic stonework, etc. Just a shame I can't quite get round. I mean, it's blocked by, I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but there's sort of corrugated iron in front of it. There's a few sort of bits of metal and stuff like that. In fact, you can see that corrugated iron, but yeah, that's the tunnel. So it's been, like I say, it's been walled off, so I'm now going to have to get down off this wall, or I would if it was dry, probably just walk down there and use steps, but it is a little bit slippy, so yeah. If you don't hear from me again, find me at the tunnel, which is in the corner of the ground. So I'll just quickly shimmy round. Obviously that's the back of the south stand. And Ozzy's coming round with leaf blower. There he is. I found a gap in the wall, so I actually managed to get round. So this is the tunnel, once again, that Johnny and Ozzy mentioned to me. I don't know if it was just a tunnel or a train tunnel looking back now, because it seems to be quite low. So whether it was concreted, I don't know. So, say it's sort of barricaded slightly by stuff, so hopefully. Oh, hello. Again, if I go missing, this is where it all began, or ended. If I weren't such a scaredy cat, I might walk a bit further down here, but truth be told, it's extremely dark. So yeah, this is the tunnel. Basically, now I've got to try and find my way back out. I'll try and survive leaving the tunnel. But yeah, I mean, it's not I don't think it's a particularly hard floor, but if this was some kind of train tunnel, then God knows how much sort of mud, silt and debris built up over the years to find that. I don't even know where it leads out to. If anyone can possibly fill me in on that, I'd be much appreciated. But yeah, I'm shining my, I mean, admittedly it's only a weak phone torch down the tunnel, but it probably only shines maybe 10 yards in front of me, if that. There's a bit of graffiti in it. So yeah, the secret way that people used to get into the ground for free, apparently, at certain times. I've now got to try and exit it. And yeah, as I suppose as boring as it would have been to just view a black screen, and just climb out. I hope. I mean, for me, I've never seen this. I'd never heard of this before. Johnny brought it up the other week, but Skircoat Road, of course, up there. The bus shelter, or well, it would have been the bus stand end or whatever. The bus depot is up there. So yeah, not much going on in there, but that's the tunnel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm thinking of doing one for the East Stand round April next year, once it becomes 10 years since that opened. Just slipped a bit then, and then. So I am going to have to turn this off. There's another unique look at the ground. This is obviously the, well, as he keeps his stuff, and you can just see the east stand there. And the south stand, of course. So yeah, as I was saying, hopefully I'll be able to next year do maybe 10 years of town with the east stand, and then I'm sure you'll be able to get a great amount of series out of my memories from the south stand, because that's where I were growing up on the main. Although, like many supporters, I do, as I've said in previous videos, pry for the day when home supporters may be able to go into the Skircoat again once more, due to numbers of people coming down rather than some kind of well, I don't know what to do address it as, but don't, people, please don't don't be barracking the club to go back in the Skircoat stand with the numbers we get at the minute. The ground's already looks quite sparse, which is a shame, because we're doing quite well this season, albeit everybody in our league's sort of huffing and puffing at the moment, trying to pull away. That cracking doesn't sound good, does it? So basically, yeah, this could be the final recording of the Shaymen stats. This was my last my last known location, just behind the stand. So I'll sign off with come on Shaymen against Eastleigh today.